Guys, my name's Garrett Wright. This is the Big Three Podcast. I'm your host alongside the co-host.
I'm Jacob Condi. Thank you guys for joining us. And today we're going to be talking about the NFL and the NBA put together.
Yeah.
So MLB is not included in this podcast, but just so you know, the Big Three stands for the NFL, NBA, and MLB. But today, let's start off with the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the
Cincinnati Bengals. Yeah. So this past weekend, really rough game.
Yeah.
But it was real football. You know, that's what I like to see. I like to see the hard hits and those games. The Steelers-Bengals, the Bengals, or really just
anybody versus the Steelers,
really
Ravens
the
versus
AFC,
Steelers, Cleveland versus Steelers.
Yeah,
anybody playing
really
the
just
Steelers.
The AFC North in general plays really, really tough football. And
It's the toughest division in NFL.
That's what
it's
I like to see.
Not even close, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what did you think about the Juju Smith-Schuster hit on Vontaze Burfict? And many of us know Vontaze Burfict is a hard-hitting linebacker for the Cincinnati Bengals. He gets fined all the time for illegal hits, and this time somebody gave him an illegal hit. What do you think on that?
Yeah. So emotionally, I think Juju Smith-Schuster got too much into the moment. You know, him standing over him. In most people's eyes, not okay, and
right.
I would agree. But the hit in general, that's a football play, you know. And
it's a football. A crack block has always been in the game of the NFL.
If he doesn't make that block, he's tackling Le'Veon Bell, and
for less than a first down.
Absolutely. So I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think he should have been suspended, and I know he's probably going to see a fine as well.
For sure.
And I don't think that's correct. Another hit in that game was the Iloka hit.
George Iloka,
yeah.
He's a safety for the Cincinnati Bengals. He put a huge hit on Antonio Brown, except the only problem is Antonio Brown was catching the ball for the game-winning touchdown. As a safety, I'm going to do whatever I can to dislodge the ball from the receiver's hand because the game is on the line. But apparently he got fined and he got suspended for the game. But he overturned it, and so now he will not be serving a suspension. But the initial reaction was fine him because he hit Antonio Brown with the dirty play. What do you think on that?
The thing is like I said about the Juju Smith-Schuster block, it's a football play. That's what people play football for. You don't go out there to just prance around. Oh, he's catching the ball. I'm gonna hit you now.
Right. Guys are moving way too fast to be able to change directions in the split
exactly.
second.
Exactly, and football is an aggressive sport.
It's contact sport.
Should be played aggressively.
We're not basketball or baseball.
That's what I'm saying. I don't want to see people
let up.
Yeah,
every time.
Exactly.
I want to see Antonio Brown get hit like that. I really do. And yes, it was a helmet-to-helmet shot, which is illegal. And the Juju Smith-Schuster's hit on Vontaze Burfict was a crack block, and they're trying to take that out of the game. I understand all that. But when it comes down to it, that's a football play.
Yeah.
If you don't make that block, he's going to tackle your linebacker for 5-yard gain, and you're going to lose.
Yeah.
I mean, excuse me, yeah. He's going to tackle your running back for 5-yard gain.
So another thing about that hit in the end zone to Antonio Brown, it wasn't a targeting call because the targeting call is the crown of the helmet aimed at the other person's helmet. And in the shot I saw, he has his head turned. And that just shows me, he's not intentionally trying to, give Antonio Brown a concussion. I mean, he's trying to make a football play.
But people say don't lead with your head. Well, the head is on top of my shoulders. What else am I supposed to lead with? I mean, when I'm tackling a guy, I've played football, you've played football.
Yeah.
When we're both trying to hit somebody, you're not going to lead and turn your neck to the side and expose your own body to injury. Because if you start turning and you start trying to accommodate to where the receivers are supposed to get hit, they shrink their target when they crouch up.
Yeah,
we crouch up as well. So that means my helmet is going to go into your helmet, and I should not be fined for that at all.
And I look at highlight videos all the time of like the best hits in NFL history, and a lot of them just wouldn't be allowed today. I mean, a lot like
the hardest hits in NFL history.
Patrick Willis, that hit across the middle of the field. He was playing the Jets.
Yeah. I seen it.
Yeah, that guy just got absolutely
stuff
flattened.
like that. You'll be fined, you'll be flagged, and you'll probably be suspended one game nowadays. So I don't understand how everything is towards the offensive side. Everything is like, hey, let's let the offense succeed. But the defense, it's so hard for them to play week in and week out with only trying to hit a certain spot on the body. Even though when receivers catch the ball, they start crouching, they start ducking, they start juking. When you juke, it's going to cause some collision, man. I'm moving 4.2 speed. You're moving at a 4.2 speed. We're going to collide, and it's not going to be good for our bodies.
Yeah, so another thing that comes with these suspensions is the inconsistency among the NFL.
That's a perfect segue into the Gronkowski hit on the Buffalo Bills cornerback White. Tre'Davious White. He made a beautiful play on the ball. He intercepts Tom Brady, and Gronkowski is so mad.
Well, he was pulling on Gronkowski.
No. Early on, it was there was no flags though.
That's what I'm saying. It was pass interference, and that's why Gronkowski
No. The ball was underthrown, and he intercepted it.
I promise it was pass interference.
I agree. He was pulling on him. Okay, but then why does Gronkowski have to react?
No,
I'm
not saying no. In no way he should have done that. But that's where the frustration came from.
And guess how many games he got suspended?
1. So
guess how many games Juju Smith-Schuster got suspended for the hit on Montez Burfict?
Exactly.
1.
And the fight between Jalen Ramsey and AJ Green, half a game, not even.
You're right, not even a full game.
So I think the non-football plays definitely should be given a bigger suspension versus football plays. You know the
one of them happened within a safety hitting on a receiver. That's the Cincinnati Bengals hit on Antonio Brown. One of them happened on a block that was illegal literally 5 to 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And that was legal. You would have been fined, but now that it's 10 years later, you're going to get in trouble and you're going to get suspended a game.
Yep.
But Gronkowski's move, he literally let the cornerback catch the ball, intercept the ball, and then drove his right shoulder into the back of the cornerback.
Into the back of his head.
While he was laying flat on his stomach. Garrett, you should be suspended 4 or not 5 games, if not the rest of the season.
Absolutely. I mean, it's not a football play, and that's not what we want to see. I get it's aggressive sport, but there's a limit to that. It's aggressive.
Once the whistle blows
during the play, it's aggressive. But after the whistle, if you make those kind of plays, not even plays, if you do those type of things, I mean, it should.
That's not a play at all.
It should render.
The play was over, Garrett.
Absolutely.
And Gronkowski hitting that cornerback and only getting 1 game suspension. What does that tell every other player in the NFL?
I can do it too.
I can be fine, and I will hit any player however I want, and I will get suspended 1 game, and it won't even cost my team that much.
And another suspension was the Aqib Talib and Michael Crabtree
for
fight.
Sure. Oakland versus Denver fight.
Yeah, they also
2 games. They suspended it down to 1.
Yeah,
they brought it down to 1.
Down to 1, but still, I mean, these fights, 1 game, half a game, after play hits that are just, I mean, detrimental to players' health.
It's getting way out of control. And one we never brought up is the Ryan Shazier hit. He's the middle linebacker for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He made a clean football tackle. The only problem is he ducked his head on a Bengals receiver.
Yeah, hit the top of his head.
Literally, his head got pushed into his shoulders, which caused a spine injury. And luckily, he's actually we had some good reports that he's feeling back in his legs, which he did not feel once that hit happened.
Yeah. So in that, if you've seen the video, you can tell. He rolls over and his legs are just completely limp.
He's literally waving people over while reaching for the spot in his back.
Hey, come help me out. Like,
I can't move. That is the most scary hit I've ever seen, and I've been a football fan since 2006.
Yeah, so he had a lower back contusion, spinal contusion. For sure. And they said it was swelling up, but within 12 hours it stopped swelling. And usually people who end up getting that injury make a full recovery. So hope we can see that guy back on the field. He does lead the Steelers in tackles, interceptions, and forced fumbles.
He's the best player on the Steelers defense. Yeah. A little fun fact for you. Had he not gone in the draft 1 pick before the Dallas Cowboys, he would have been a Dallas Cowboys. I know that for a fact. Based on Jason Garrett, he has told people, hey, had Ryan Shazier not went 1 pick ahead of the Dallas Cowboys, we would have taken him. Instead, we took the great offensive lineman, Zach Martin, who nobody's complaining about.
Yeah.
But we would have a whole different conversation had Ryan Shazier been a Dallas Cowboy and Zach Martin been a Pittsburgh
Steelers. Imagine Shazier and Sean Lee
together,
the middle linebackers.
We would have a whole different conversation. But that's neither here nor there. But we're sorry to hear that about him, and we hope he makes a full recovery back to the NFL and back to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Alrighty, so moving on, this is the Big 3 podcast. We'll go ahead and go to the Golden State Warriors, man. And Kevin Durant got into a little scuffle with DeMarcus Cousins.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that on this past week?
I'm not really sure where the frustration is coming from the Warriors in general. They lead the league in
suspensions and what do you call it? Ejections. Yes.
I'm not really sure where the frustration is coming from. It also could be the fact that they're starting to think that they're so good that it doesn't really matter if I'm out of the game. And as of late, that's actually been the case. Last night, the Warriors won without Draymond Green, Steph Curry,
and Kevin Durant.
So
that's the big three that we all call.
No,
right?
Kevin Durant played.
Okay,
but
he was suspended. He got ejected the game before.
Yeah,
you're right.
But Kevin Durant alone had the triple-double. Klay Thompson put up quite a few points.
It's insane. They're not even the big three anymore. They're the big four.
And so,
as long as two out of four are playing.
Yeah.
And when I say four, I mean Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Kevin Durant.
Yeah. So
if them four are playing, we're Gucci. Yeah. Or two out of four.
So Steph Curry leads their team in points, 26.3. Kevin Durant behind them at 25.1. Draymond Green is fourth on the team in scoring, 10.5 points a game, but also leads them in rebounds and assists with 7 apiece. And at the end of the day, when they don't play, I mean, it just doesn't matter. It's unbelievable.
It's sad to say that, dude, but if you take LeBron out of Cleveland, what happens to them?
They're not a winning team.
They're literally below 500. But if you take Steph Curry and Kevin Durant out of a game and you say, hey, Draymond Green and Klay Thompson, y'all got to go win this game for us. We're the Golden State Warriors. We're down our two best players. You go win. They can
win.
Combine as a team and play team basketball.
Another thing about that is also the coaching. Steve Kerr is
amazing
coach.
Yes.
I mean, their offense literally changed the NBA.
For sure. Nobody has ever shot three-pointers at the percentage that they are shooting at.
Yeah, another team that's on a roll right now, the Houston Rockets.
Let's talk about James Harden, and without even Chris Paul really adding anything to that team, he's literally been a very small factor.
He leads the team second on the team in assists next to James Harden.
But he's not putting up great numbers offensively, defensively, neither way. He's just adding here and there every now and then. The all-star of that team is what
James
you just
Harden.
said. Yes.
So in the MVP race, I would definitely put him at number one.
You take him out, the Warriors are probably a losing franchise right now. You put him in there, you insert him in the lineup. Yeah, Houston. Yeah. You insert James Harden into the Houston lineup, it's a whole nother story.
Yeah, so in terms of the MVP race, I would put James Harden number one. I'd put LeBron James at number two.
Okay.
Kyrie, definitely at number three. He's leading
Let's
that.
Let's not forget the
Celtics
team with Kyrie.
We can talk about the Celtics if you want.
Let's go ahead and move on to that.
So the Celtics currently, I mean, just rolling through teams. They beat the Mavericks last night.
I did see that. It was a close game.
7 points, though.
But we're Team Tank. Aren't you Team Tank?
Absolutely.
When we say Team Tank, we want the Mavericks to make every game competitive, but in the end, we want them to lose.
Yeah, Marvin Bagley is going to be a Dallas Mavericks.
And Salah Mejri, who plays for the Mavericks now, he's fun to watch. He's awesome. Dennis Smith Jr. is fun to watch. I love the greatest German player of all time, Dirk Nowitzki.
Another player on that team that I thought would produce, Nerlens Noel, has just fallen off. I mean, he wanted all that money, and we almost gave it to him. Thank God he declined that.
But it has to be,
as of right now, he's not playing it.
It has to have something to do with Coach Rick Carlisle, who is sitting him on the bench most nights, not even starting the guy, and he has the talent to start for the Dallas Mavericks.
That's not.
But he's on the bench every game.
In terms of the lineup for the Dallas Mavericks, who I want to start,
right?
It would be Dennis Smith,
okay,
Wesley Matthews, Harrison Barnes,
got you,
Dirk, and Nerlens.
Okay, that would be your top five.
That would be my starting five for the Dallas Mavericks.
For sure.
But night in and night out, they continue to sit Nerlens on the bench. They put Dirk at the center, and
Dirk's not a center.
He's not athletic enough anymore to get the rebounds like we need, and that's
maybe 5 years ago.
That's another big part of the woes that the Dallas Mavericks faces. The rebounding is just awful.
But it's amazing how Rick Carlisle is such a good coach that he can find ways to compete with the Boston Celtics, find ways to beat teams that we have no business beating. And I'm like, Rick Carlisle, yes, with the Greek Freak. And I'm like, Rick Carlisle, you need to calm down. You need to start losing games that we should be losing. And let's get another draft pick to help Dennis Smith Jr., to help Harrison Barnes.
Yeah, and
let's rebuild for next year.
In a few years, I can definitely see this team being one of the best in the NBA. With Dennis Smith, Harrison Barnes, I'm not really a big fan of Wesley Matthews.
Me neither. He's going to be gone.
He doesn't shoot at a high clip, and I think we could use him as trade bait this year. Dirk is really, unfortunately, getting old. This could possibly be his last season.
Yeah.
Defensively, he's a burden, but offensively, he's still got that fadeaway. You can't lose the shot.
Impossible.
No matter how
unguardable
how old you get.
Yes, and so shout out to Dirk for still doing it at the age of 39 years old.
Yeah.
So, all right, that was a little basketball talk. Let's move on. Let's go to a little bit of Dallas Cowboys versus the New York Giants.
Okay.
Coming up this Sunday at noon. Eli Manning will start this game. What do you see happening, and what's your prediction for this game?
Well, before we get to that, let's talk about last week and how Geno Smith played it. How do you think
he played at Oakland?
How do you think he compared to Eli Manning playing?
Oh, it's not even comparable, my friend. It's terrible. Eli Manning literally broke a 210 game streak of starting every game for no reason.
Yeah, just
Geno Smith came out against Oakland Raiders and literally 2 forced fumbles on the defense, which means he lost 2 forced fumbles that Eli probably would have just taken a sack, got back up, and probably got the first down after that. Geno Smith is a joke. They didn't even put in Davis Webb. I was embarrassed. Yeah, I'm embarrassed for that franchise.
After the performance that Geno Smith had, I thought for sure they'd put Davis Webb in.
And nothing. So now we have Eli Manning starting this week. I believe it's week 14 of the NFL. Yeah. And the Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott will take on the New York Football Giants and Eli Manning. What are your predictions for this game? How do you see it playing out?
The New York defense right now is in shambles.
They quit. They literally quit.
No JPP.
Nope.
No Janoris Jenkins.
Out.
They fired Ben McAdoo.
Gone. Steve Spagnuolo is their defensive coordinator. Now he is having to focus his attention on the offense. So that means that defense is just going to get left in the dust. They're going to have to play how they know how to play. And Steve Spagnuolo, who is a defensive-minded coach, is going to have to focus on the offense.
So that big, scary New York Giants defense is no longer scary. So I'm thinking Alfred Morris probably goes for over 100 this game.
I'd say he breaks 100.
If the offensive line plays like they did last week, he certainly will.
Right.
One issue is Dak Prescott. He did practice this week with the hand. He was full.
I heard his hand's fine.
Yeah. I'm not really sure what happened. It might have just been a bruise.
Well, yeah, he took a helmet to the hand. That sucks. Any player, that'll hurt you.
So, one thing I do want to see is him improve on his throwing.
Most definitely. Accuracy.
Yeah.
Accuracy. Last year, everyone talked about, oh, this kid is so accurate within the chains. You know, he'll get you a first down whenever you need it. If it's 3rd and 3, he'll make a beautiful pass. We have not seen that this year at all.
The problem with that is the run game before last week just wasn't going. I mean, Alfred Morris had like 57, 35 yards, and I think like a 70.
Everything was below 70 yards again.
So our offense relies heavily on the run and the play action. And when you don't have the run, you don't have the play action.
But it did not when Tony Romo was in.
So those 3rd and 3s are really tough to get because the defense knows, hey, we can stop the run. We just have to play the pass.
Okay, so then they're double-teaming Cole Beasley. They're singling Dez on the outside, and then sometimes Terrence Williams is getting doubled. If people forget about
another person that isn't seeing the targets that he was last year is Jason Witten.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really sure what's happening there.
Hall of Famer.
I think that has a lot to do with the play action not working because he's big in our play action game.
But you take Ezekiel Elliott out of the game, dude, it changes every aspect.
It sure does, because Alfred Morris is not a passing back. So when you put Rod Smith in, I mean, half of the time, they're going to pass.
9 times out of 10, you could even say.
Yeah.
So it's scary to see, man, that the Giants know us so well that they're going to come into this game. Eli Manning's first start since he got benched, literally. And I think it's a trap game. I could literally see us losing this game.
You think?
17-14 because Dak Prescott will not be able to make the plays that we need in the crucial moments. And that defense is going to play their ass off. The offense is going to play their ass off.
We do get Sean Lee back this week.
Sean Lee's coming back. What happens if he hurts his hamstring midway through the third quarter?
That's
all I'm saying, dude. Okay, but it's a perfectly good example of what could happen, and I'm scared. I'm literally scared to death because if we lose this game, Zeke comes back, not even the next week, but the week after. We're out of the playoffs if we lose this game. It's over. Call it a season. We'll wait until next year. We need a team tank. But I'm scared that Eli Manning might be the one to hand us that, hey, wait till next season. Just like us.
Yeah. Another person I want to talk about is Aaron Rodgers. He comes back this week.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Are you sure?
That's what he said he could. I'm not sure if they'll bring him back.
He's off the IR, injured reserve.
Yeah, for sure.
He might be coming back. He might go from injured reserve to Super Bowl. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
He just turns that team, into a superstar team. He takes that
into a playoff and Super Bowl.
He takes that 6-10 team and turns them into a 10-6, 12-4,
12-4 team, Garrett. You've seen him do it to your Dallas Cowboys week in and week out. 4 seasons in a row now. I can go back all the way to the Dez Bryant catch. That was a no catch. Aaron Rodgers still made enough plays to win that game, and eventually they did win that game. But that's 4 years ago. I was a senior in high school, and I remember watching that. So I've seen Aaron Rodgers come back out of nowhere when everybody thought, oh, Packers, they suck. They're written off. Aaron Rodgers carries them to a level that nobody can understand.
I thought when I heard Aaron Rodgers broke his collarbone, I knew this team wasn't going to win hardly any games. They won
3 games without him.
That's what I was thinking. Brett Hundley, I don't even know how.
3, man.
Brett Hundley
he's a joke.
He's averaging like 150 yards a game as a quarterback. One big part of their team that they've gotten going without Aaron Rodgers is the running game, and it's weird because
it came out of nowhere.
When Aaron Rodgers plays, they have no run game.
Never. But then also
Jamal
because they don't rely on it either.
Yeah, Jamal Williams is tearing it up out there. Aaron Jones had the one rush in overtime for the touchdown.
Against Tampa Bay.
Yeah, even the week before that, he had a pretty good game.
So if we look at the Packers as a team, we always see, oh, man, they're not very good. Aaron Rodgers carries them. But right now, they are rallying together. They are sticking up for one another. And they have left a window open for Aaron Rodgers to come back and actually carry them to a playoff run.
Yeah,
so
they actually have a shot at the playoffs.
Yes, and nobody ever thought that. So that will be interesting.
Yeah.
So that's a little NFL talk for y'all. And let's move on to Gots to Go.
Some Gots to Go?
Yeah, man, let's do some Gots to Go. You want to explain to our audience what's happening right here?
All right, so basically it can be any category. We'll pick 4 things, and you have to get rid of 2. You have to keep 2.
All right.
Guys, we're back from a little bathroom break.
Yes,
but
sir.
Now we got a little Gots to Go.
Alrighty, so let's jump right into Gots to Go. We'll start with you.
All right.
You are going to give me 4 topics, and I will have to choose my bottom 2, my top 2. Bottom 2 I can never use again. Top 2 I love.
Yeah, so today we got some clothing brands, all right?
All right, let's go.
All right, so number 1, we got Nike. Number 2,
okay,
Adidas.
Got you.
Number 3, Jordan.
Got you.
Number 4, Reebok.
Shit. Reebok?
Reebok.
My cleats have been Reebok since I was able to play football and baseball, so I will say that, yeah. For all you who hate Reebok, I hate you as well. But Jordan, you have to stay. I love Jordan. My first pair of shoes were Jordans. I've always loved Jordans. I still have Jordans to this day. You're not going anywhere, Michael Jordan. You will always be my shoe and my brand. Gots to go. We'll go with Adidas. Adidas, yeah. Adidas is gone.
Adidas?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Adidas is gone, man. Nike and Adidas have competed forever, and I've never been a huge fan of Adidas.
Okay.
I have shorts or something, but when I think of Nike, every pair of clothing I have is at least one Nike, from head to toe.
You wearing any Nike right now? That would be a negative.
I'm wearing Under Armour.
Okay.
Does that count?
No, that's not Nike.
Well, I'm not wearing Nike right now, but normally I would have a Nike hat on, or a Nike shirt, or a Nike jacket, or a Nike socks, or Nike shoes.
It's not today.
We're not wearing shoes right now, so I normally would have Nike shoes.
But okay.
All right. So Nike has to stay. So Nike and Jordan are my 2 that have to stay. I'm getting rid of
Adidas and Reebok.
Adidas and Reebok. Reebok, gone. They're the little stepchild of the 3 brands you just named.
Okay.
So Reebok, got to go. We'll see you next time.
Okay.
Alrighty, so for you, sir, we're going to go with Disney movies.
Disney movies.
All right.
All right.
I got The Lion King. I got Aladdin.
Oh.
I got Finding Nemo. And I got The Incredibles.
Oh.
Out of those 4, 2 have to go for the rest of your life. You can never watch them again. 2 have to stay.
Oh, man.
Good luck, my friend.
Oh, all right. So, number 1, Aladdin is a good movie.
Oh, God. You're going to get rid of it?
But it's out of those 4, it's definitely my least favorite.
The Genie with Robin Williams. Oh, gosh.
So, Aladdin, gots to go.
Okay. So
All
she's
right.
in your bottom 4.
All right.
2.
Finding Nemo, arguably one of the best Disney movies of all time.
Shout out to Shout out to 2003.
Yeah, gotta stay in there. Can't get rid of that classic.
Agreed.
We're down to The Incredibles
And Lion King. I swear to God,
No.
Garrett, if you choose wrong on this, I literally have to disown you as my
Lion
cousin.
King just number 1, or Lion King ever.
Lion King, the number 1. The first Lion King of all time. Who's staying and who's going? Ooh.
You know, The Incredibles, great film.
Yes, it is.
Great film.
Wonderful film.
But is it as good as The Lion King?
No.
No.
I mean, I'm just being honest with you. Like, it's not.
And I grew up on The Lion King. We've probably watched The Lion King about 100 times together.
True.
So Lion King, you gotta stay. Incredibles, gots.
And that's tough because the brand new one is coming out this summer, 2018. But unfortunately, if I was doing this list, I would agree with you. Nemo and Lion King are my 2 favorite movies. Aladdin and The Incredibles.
Don't get me wrong. They're good movies.
They're amazing movies.
They're not as good as The Lion King.
Not on that level. So that's a good little guts to go for you. So let's move on, man, to our final segment of the day. The game's this Sunday, December, I believe it's the 10th.
We'll also include the Thursday game and the Monday game.
Okay, so December 10th and the Thursday and Monday game. So this Thursday, you have the Falcons versus the Saints. Who are you taking and why?
The Saints. If you watched our show last week, I did put the Falcons in my top 10, and unfortunately, they did lose to the Vikings, who I did have in the top 5, however. So, I mean, a game that they were supposed to lose.
They're a joke.
I'm going to disagree with that. But
They're a joke.
The Saints have been on a roll. Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram just definitely took care of business this
Double-headed
past
monsters,
weekend.
For sure.
Over 200 yards of scrimmage in 3 different games this year.
Who do you got winning?
Absolutely the Saints.
Alrighty, so let's move on to the Dallas Cowboys versus the New York Football Giants.
I
this
would
Sunday
never ever bet against my Dallas Cowboys.
Why? I would.
And not against the New York Giants.
I'm a bigger fan than you, but yeah, I would.
Against the Giants?
No.
Okay, no, they're 2-10. Absolutely not.
So you're taking the
Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Yeah.
All right. Next game, man, we got the Vikings versus the Panthers. Me personally, I'm taking Minnesota. I'm taking Case Keenum, and I'm taking Latavius Murray, and I'm taking the best defense in football, a.k.a. Xavier Rhodes and Harrison Smith.
You think they're the best defense?
The best defense all around.
Better than Jacksonville?
Better than Jacksonville, of course. Yes, sir.
I'm going to have to disagree on that one, but
wow,
I will take the Vikings over the Panthers. Panthers looked kind of out of sync. Cam Newton, roller coaster ride of a quarterback.
They did beat the Jets this past week.
No,
they beat the Jets.
No, they lost to the Saints.
They did lose.
The Jets beat Kansas City Chiefs.
You're right. I'm talking about 2 weeks before that.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
But anyways, let's go to the next one. We have the Indianapolis Colts against the Buffalo Bills. Who are you taking?
I got the Buffalo Bills, man. I got Tyrod Taylor. I don't trust Jacoby Brissett.
He did get hurt last week.
Yeah, but he's going to play.
Okay.
So he's going to play. I got Jacoby Brissett losing this game.
Yeah, that Colts.
He's starting for the Colts.
That Colts defense is just atrocious. I'm pretty sure LaShawn McCoy is going to have another 100-yard game.
You cannot win games with a terrible defense in the NFL. You cannot.
Sure.
So the Colts, you're taking another L. Next, we got the Bears versus the Bengals, man. Who you got this week?
The Cincinnati Bengals for sure. The Bears lost to the San Francisco 49ers.
Right. They did.
Jimmy G did
Jimmy
play,
G!
But he didn't.
Your boy Jimmy G.
He didn't play as good as I thought, but they did have a small playbook. So
first game ever, Jimmy G was fine.
He also gets the first win of the 49er season. So
I would not be surprised if the Bears beat the Bengals because of the way the Bengals imploded against the Pittsburgh Steelers this past Monday night.
Yeah, the second half, absolutely just got demolished. And by the way, in my fantasy football league, the loser of our fantasy football league gets a tattoo on their ass, right?
Okay.
And my friend Joey Cortez needed one more point from AJ Green. All he needed was one more catch.
AJ Green went off Monday night.
In the whole entire second half, he didn't have one single catch. So sorry, Joey Cortez, if you're watching, you're getting a tattoo on your ass.
Tattoo on your ass. That's what you get. Alrighty, next game, man. We got the Packers versus the Cleveland Browns.
No question.
No, the Browns, right? Come on, dude. Cleveland's going to win.
Yeah, for sure.
Damn.
All right, on to the
Brett
next one.
Hundley's going to win that game. He's a terrible quarterback. They're just going to tread water until the greatest quarterback in the game, Aaron Rodgers, comes back.
An undeserving win, but a win at that.
It is a win at that. All right, let's move on to the Raiders versus the Kansas City Chiefs, a.k.a. your brother's favorite team.
Yeah, these teams are very similar.
Ooh.
The offenses, they either ride high or ride extremely low. The Raiders, 1 interception on the season. The Kansas City Chiefs completely imploded.
They imploded out of nowhere. 5-0 start.
Yeah. And Marcus Peters also suspended for 1 game for throwing the flag into the stands. Not by the NFL, but by the team itself.
Right. If you do not have Eric Berry or Derek Johnson, who are the 2 leaders of the Kansas City defense, if they're not in the game, the Kansas City Chiefs are in trouble.
It's amazing how much Eric Berry means to that team.
So much.
2 years ago when he was battling cancer, awful defense. Last year, one of the best in the NFL. And
You
then
take him out again
this year, just terrible.
I'm taking Oakland Raiders. I'm taking Derek Carr and Khalil Mack.
I think I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs.
All right, we got money on that game for sure.
All right.
Moving on, we got the Lions versus the Buccaneers. What's happening this week?
I'm definitely going to take the Detroit Lions over the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers, recently, their defense is last in the NFL in terms of passing yards. Matthew Stafford, amazing quarterback.
Okay, amazing is a little bit of
for the pass,
exceeding expectations.
For the pass, they're gonna rip them apart because they don't really have a running game.
All right,
and that the strength of the Tampa Bay defense is against the run.
Yeah, so I'm taking the Lions as well. I just don't agree with Matt Stafford being like the best.
49ers against the Houston Texans. 2 very bad teams. Who are you taking?
I have the 49ers, man. Jimmy G coming in last week, winning a game. I got him winning another game this week. I have the Texans, man. Savage? You believe in Savage?
I'm going to take DeAndre Hopkins.
No. I said Tom Savage. No. Who's taking the snaps from under center? Tom Savage. You believe in Tom Savage?
I believe that the Texans' defense will allow fewer points than the 49ers' defense because that 49ers' defense is hot garbage.
Hot garbage. Can't wait to prove you wrong. I got the 49ers winning that game. Next, we have the Jets at the Broncos. Another terrible 2 teams going at it.
The Jets at times can show that they have some offensive power. Robbie Anderson definitely becoming one of the better receivers in the NFL.
Chad Johnson called that, by the way.
Yeah,
Chad Johnson said Anderson was going to be a breakout receiver, and he is. I'm taking the Jets on that game.
Absolutely. The Broncos are just looking terrible.
Trash. No quarterback. Their defense is giving up on them, and John Elway has no idea what he's doing up in the front office.
Yeah.
Let's go Jets. All right, next, let's move on to the Redskins versus the Chargers. Who do you got?
I'm going to take the LA Chargers.
Okay.
The way the Redskins got manhandled by the Dallas Cowboys.
Manhandled is the correct word.
I'm definitely going to take the Chargers.
I would agree with you on that.
Let's go to the Titans and Cardinals.
Okay.
Who are you taking there?
I like Marcus Mariota. I've always believed in him. I think he's better than Jameis Winston. I think he's better than Dak Prescott. I think he might be better than Jared Goff. He's not better than Carson Wentz, but I like Marcus Mariota. I'm taking the Tennessee Titans.
I'm going to agree with you on that one.
All right, let's go. All right, next we have the Seahawks versus the Jaguars. 2 badass defenses going at it. Who do you got?
At the end of the day, the Jaguars just don't have the offense to beat.
Really?
To beat the Seattle defense.
So you don't believe in Blake Bortles?
Absolutely.
Okay, Russell Wilson might be the top 3.
And Russell Wilson has definitely put himself in MVP talk.
He's a top 3 quarterback right now based on athleticism, based on running around, scrambling ability, and when it comes down to it, clutch moments.
With the win last week over the Eagles in dominant fashion, I may add, I'm definitely going to take the Seahawks in this one.
I will too. I will agree with you that.
All right.
I will agree with you. Let's go on to the last 3 o'clock game. Eagles versus the Los Angeles Rams. Who do you got?
Man, this is a tough one.
I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch all these, but I'm going to be looking at this one very specifically.
To be honest, I'm going to have to go even on this one. I'm not really sure.
No. There's no push in this. There's a winner and a loser. Who are you taking? There's no push.
You go first. Let me hear your case.
LA Rams, my friend.
Okay.
Todd Gurley, Jared Goff, that defense. I don't believe in your Philadelphia Eagles.
I hate the Philadelphia Eagles.
Good. I'm glad you do. I don't believe in the Philadelphia Eagles. I do believe in Carson Wentz, but when it comes down to it, they're going to choke. And I believe LA Rams as a team are better than the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm taking the Rams, probably 34-28, LA Rams.
And so you think it'll be a high-scoring game?
It's going to be high-scoring offensively all day.
I'm going to have to go with the Rams as well.
Okay. What's the score?
I don't think it'll be a high-scoring game.
Low-scoring game? So you're thinking like 21-17, 21-14?
Probably 21-14 is my guess. 21-17, somewhere around there.
I can see Carson Wentz bouncing back from last week. He just got his ass whooped by Russell Wilson and that defense for the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah.
He's not going to let that happen again. He's going to come out firing, but I think Jared Goff and Todd Gurley just exceed their expectations.
All right, so we got the 7:30 game
Sunday night.
Ravens Steelers.
Woo! The best rivalry in football. I don't care what anybody says. The Cowboys and Giants are not better than that rivalry. Cincinnati versus the Steelers is not that better of a rivalry. The best rivalry in NFL football for the past 10 to 12 years has been the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Baltimore Ravens. Who do you got Sunday night?
I'm going to take the Steelers all the way. The Ravens last week did put up some big numbers, but then again against Miami.
It's Miami. What are you going to do?
And Joe Flacco, really inconsistent this year. So I'm thinking I'm going to take the Steelers.
You already know how I feel about the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think they're the best roster all around. They did lose the best player on their defense in Ryan Shazier. Prayers out to him. I feel bad for his whole neck problem. But I still think, dude, Big Ben, Le'Veon Bell, and Antonio Brown, if you look at Antonio Brown, he's the best receiver in the game. If you look at his stats, dude, it's not even comparable to your boy Julio Jones. Julio Jones is a freak of nature, but he's not better than Antonio Brown when it comes down to getting open, scoring touchdowns, and receiving yards. The Steelers are going to beat the Ravens' ass this Sunday.
Okay.
Move on to Monday Night Football, man. The last game of Week 14.
Patriots, Dolphins.
That's a tough one.
Oh, is it?
That's a tough one, man.
Tough one?
I don't know. Jay Cutler. He's pretty great.
Jay Cutler, Tom Brady.
It's a toss-up, man. It's a flip of the coin.
Yeah.
Psych. Tom Brady. Gonna dominate, as he always does this series.
And that running game just keeps on churning. Rex Burkhead, 2 touchdowns last week. Deion Lewis, over 100 yards. Tom Brady, he will be without Rob Gronkowski, but that's not something he's not used to.
No Edelman, no Hogan. Whoever you put around Tom Brady, dude, he's going to dominate. He's going to figure them out, and he's going to figure out the defense every week.
So, go Pats.
Go Pats. I cannot stand Tom Brady, nor can you, but we have to respect greatness where greatness is due. Alrighty, guys. Thank you for tuning in to the Big 3 Podcast. I'm Jacob Condi.
I'm Garrett Wright.
And this has been episode 2, and we'll bring you more episodes coming soon. Thank you guys for listening.